and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be saying what I think the atmosphere of every NFL team's locker room is like. Or the vibe, or however you want to word it. I just feel like with the end of the season approaching and the Russell Wilson drama going down in Denver, this is a literal perfect time to do it, so let's get it done. As always though, before we hop into the video, don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But that's all I got, let's get into the video. Alright everybody, so here's the list we're working with today. At the top, we've got the locker rooms where I think it's a party. They're having fun. Under that, we've got the locker rooms where I think it's calm but quiet, meaning they're in a good place, but they're very focused right now. Towards the middle, we got the locker rooms who I think are on the end of life rally right now, meaning the season's wrapping up and they need a trillion things to go right, but they're staying positive that they're gonna make the playoffs. Under that, we've got the locker rooms that are simply over this season and ready to be done. Below that are the intense locker rooms, and bottoming out of the locker rooms that I think are a total shit show. Makes sense? Alright, cool. Let's get started with the Arizona Cardinals. They're definitely just over the season and ready to be done. I don't think the atmosphere is bad by any mean, but I think it's very, alright guys, let's just go get this over with kind of atmosphere. And like I said before, they've been competing in games all season. They've gotten more wins than I thought they were gonna get. But at this point, there's gotta be little to any motivation to go out there and try. Now we've got the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's intense. They could be on the end of life rally, but I just have a feeling that that locker room is not happy. You got players constantly being misused. You got a head coach who refuses to take any accountability, and you got an owner who will not fire him. I definitely think it's loosened up after their win, but you can cut through this locker room's air with a knife. Now we got the Ravens. Every video I see on social media makes it look like they're having a blast. On top of that, they've nearly clinched their division and they've clinched a playoff spot. The morale has to be high in there. Now we got the Bills. Calm but quiet. You ever see Josh Allen talk in an interview? That's how I think the entire locker room is. Other than Deion Dawkins doing his usual bullshit that he always does in there, I think the atmosphere is very much kind of, you know, hey guys, we're back in the playoffs. We have a chance to pull off the division if everything goes right this week, but let's just focus on our game and move forward. Now we've got the Panthers. After the firing of Frank Reich, I think they're just ready to be done. They know they can't do anything. They know they're not going to have a high draft pick because they traded it away. What's there to hang on to? All right, next locker room we got is Chicago. They are definitely on the end of life rally right now. They're having fun, they're winning games, there's a chance they can make the playoffs, and they are gonna try as hard as they possibly can until the end. Good for them too, why not? Now we got the Bengals. I think it's intense, and I don't really think it's intense due to any of the players really. I just think it's how their seasons went and where they're sitting right now. I feel like everyone's really uncomfortable, they're kind of on edge. There probably isn't a whole lot of conversation going on in there that doesn't have to do with football. Moving on, we got Cleveland. I would think they're having a blast because they have a 38-year-old quarterback who just got off the couch and is playing better than the quarterback you guys guaranteed $235 million to. Players are having career games. Your team is performing at an elite level. Pretty hard for you guys to miss the playoffs. I think it's pretty happy there. Now we got Dallas. Intense. Very, very, very intense. They got embarrassed 2 weeks ago. Miami just beat them. They're on a 2-game losing streak now. And I know they have clinched a playoff spot, but with how their team is performing right now, I don't think they really want to go to the playoffs. Denver. Total shit show. You guys have a chance to make the playoffs, and your front office just took it away from you. How can anybody in that locker room be happy right now? Besides Sean Payton. Like, seriously, how can anybody be happy with what the fuck just happened? I feel bad for Russell Wilson. I want him to either go to the Falcons or the Raiders really bad. And that'll take us to Detroit. It's a party. They're having fun. Just clinched the NFC North for the first time in like 20 years. They're going to the playoffs. Their team is functioning at an elite level too. I mean, I think not only are the players having one of the better years of their lives, but the fans. I think that entire city is just popping, and you guys fucking deserve it. Next team we got is the Green Bay Packers. End of life rally. They know they can make it. They know it's going to be hard, but they're hanging on to any chance they got, and they're not going to give up either. And if I was them, I would do the same thing. Now, it is kind of funny that they sat Jair Alexander because he's such a fucking idiot. That was one of the dumbest interviews I've ever seen. That guy literally didn't even understand what he did wrong. He's that stupid. But on top of that, he hasn't been that good this year anyway, so I don't even think it's gonna hurt him. Now we got the Texans. Definitely intense right now. You need CJ to come back, and one of your last 2 games are against the Colts, who, if you want to get ahead of them, you gotta beat them. Like, their quarterback is banged up. There's uncertainty right here after they had such a fantastic start to the year. There's no way that locker room isn't a little frantic right now. Now we got the Colts. End of life rally. They know they're against the wall, but they've been against the wall the entire year. They've never had the odds in their favor, and look how far they've gotten. Why give up on what you're doing right now? There's no way those players aren't trying to make the postseason. There's no way they're not being positive. Jacksonville. The definition of intense? They're about to blow the division away. It's an absolute miracle they're still in first place. Their quarterback has been hurt for a month. He's even more hurt than he was. The season's over in 2 weeks. Time to shit or get off the pot, guys. Like, what are you gonna do? Matter of fact, they might actually have the most intense locker room out of the league right now. Now we got the Chiefs. Shit show. Mahomes hates his receivers. Kelsey's head isn't screwed on tight. There's a small chance that if the Raiders happen to win out, they're gonna win the division and steal it from them. We've never seen the Chiefs looking like they look right now. Like, I just don't think there's a single person in that locker room who is happy. Now we got the Chargers. They're most definitely over it. I could see Easton Stick being, really excited to go out there and try to prove some worth. But like, as a team, now that Staley's gone and they're eliminated, like, again, they're playing for a draft pick. They don't give a shit. The Rams. End of life rally, baby. Shit or get off the pot. Go big or go home. I imagine if you walk into that locker room, they got a bulletin board up with all their opponents' faces on them with red X's marked through them. They got exactly what needs to be done in order for them to get in. And they've probably got incentives to sleep with McVay's wife if they do well enough. Go for it all, boys. Now we've got the Raiders. They are definitely an end-of-the-life rally right now. See them smoking cigars, blowing O's, having fun, all while they pretty much can't afford to lose again. Like, they're making the most of this season, but it is the definition of an end-of-life rally. Dolphins. I think they're calm and quiet. I really do. Might not seem like it because their coach is such a fucking loudmouth, but I think that team is very consciously aware that they can't lose this week. They can't afford to lose this week. Like, you'd have to be a pretty cocky group of individuals to be playing ping pong and doing cartwheels on a week like this. I'm just saying. Now we've got the Vikings. I honestly think we're just kind of over this whole fucking season now. We can't get hurt any more than we already are. Stupid, man. Just keep thinking about where we'd be if Kirk Cousins never got hurt. It's fucking ridiculous. Moving on to the Patriots. I actually think that's a shit show over there. I think the coaching is messed up. I think the quarterbacks are messed up. The team has had a historically bad year for the franchise. Like, I don't see any other situation in that locker room other than Bill just walking in, going straight to his office and putting his head down after every game. Now we got the Saints. I think it's very intense in that locker room. I think a lot of people hate Derek Carr. A lot of people hate both the offensive coordinator and the coach, Dennis Allen. I feel like a lot of the team has a good bond and a good chemistry, but there's just like those, 3 or 4 individuals that are completely singled out, and they're probably unaware as to how much people actually dislike them. Now we got the Giants. Honestly, I think they're over it. They're ready for it to be done at this point. I mean, I could say a shit show too because they just don't have a consistent quarterback game whatsoever. But they did, kind of finish out the year somewhat strong. And at this point, they're just going to want Daniel Jones to probably heal up so they can get their team back together over the offseason. And we'll do the Jets quick. I actually think they're a total shit show. They've been a shit show since week 1 when Rodgers got hurt. And not only has his injury really impacted the team with not having a stable quarterback, but everybody he handpicked to come over and help has been fucking horrible. Adrian Amos, not on the team anymore. Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, fucking useless. Now we've got Philly. Extremely intense. Almost lost to the Giants. You lost to Seattle. You lost to Dallas. You lost to San Francisco. You should have lost to Buffalo. This team has looked like fucking garbage for the last 2 months. Now we got the Steelers. Oh, shit show. There is not a single consistent thing about this team. Yeah, the players look happy and they're having fun when they win, but half the time when they lose, it's a nightmare. They don't have a consistent quarterback. They don't have a consistent running back. Their receivers all over the place. Every single week, you go into watching the Steelers and you have absolutely no idea what to expect other than the fact that their coach is gonna find a way to make the game a competition. Now we got the Seahawks. I actually think that locker room is pretty calm and quiet right now. They know what needs to be done. They know they haven't been playing the prettiest game, but they know that they can get it done. All business in the Seattle locker room, and anything other than that, I'm questioning it. Now we got the Niners. I'm gonna be honest, even though they just got absolutely whacked, I don't think that they're stressed at all. I think it's still a party in there. I think that the way they took that game was basically like, okay, we lost to the Ravens, and if we want to win the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be against the Ravens, so we're going to have to beat them then, but we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. Tampa Bay, calm, quiet, collected. They're in first. They want to stay in first. They don't want to get too cocky. They want to prove everybody wrong, and they're this close to doing it, but they just got to keep on going. Titans, I feel like they've wanted to be done for quite some time now. And ending, we've got Washington. I would say a total shit show, but it's really not all that bad. I think they're just kind of over this season. They got to fire Ron, and they got to figure out who their quarterback is, but other than that, like, they're fine. They played better than I thought they would this year. I mean, it wasn't by much, much, but they did. And yeah, that is it for me saying how I think every NFL team's locker room currently is. And that is also where I'm going to end the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. But with everything I just said, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. And as always, I will see you in the next video.